Hello and welcome to Skills to Pay the Bills. I'm your host, Tia Young. Today we are shining the spotlight on the products and services of the Small Business Administration, SBA, and its awesome resource partners and lending partners. Our goal today is to make certain that they know, that you know, without a doubt, that SBA and its resource and lending partners are there for you. Today we are going to meet Libo Suen, SBA Assistant District Director. Sba Resource Partner, Walter Abbott, Certified Mentor and Outreach Coordinator, Washington, D.C. SCORE Chapter. And SBA Lending Partner, Shanton S. Kittler, Eagle Bank, Senior Vice President, Assistant Team Leader, SBA. We have a lot to talk about today, so let's get started. Hello, how are you?
Well,
How are yourself?
good to see you.
Good, I'm doing good. Thank you so much for taking time away from your busy schedules to spend some time with us today, so we're grateful. I want our viewers to know that you guys have paid some dues. So tell us a little bit about where you've come from and what you do in your current roles. And we're going to start with Libo.
Sure. I currently work in the SBA Washington, D.C. District Office. And prior to my SBA role, I work in the private sector, including working in the bank and had my own business at one time. In my current capacity, I oversee the marketing and outreach team. And our team consists of members that are lender relation specialists. They work specifically with our lenders, banks and credit union. We also have economic development specialists, and we work with all community partners, SBA resource partners, and all the contracting partners.
Okay, all right. Shanton.
Awesome. Well, I've been in community banking for a very long time. I started in the capacity of a commercial credit officer. I've been with Eagle Bank for about a year in the capacity that I am in now. So my entire banking career has been in commercial lending.
Okay, very good. Walter.
I am the outreach coordinator for SCORE, which means that I attend a lot of events such as this, where there are small business gatherings and where there are activities that are involved with small business. SCORE is not a household word. They're not well known, and so my job is to familiarize everyone with what we do and how we go about it. I spent 40 years in the insurance business, primarily with property and casualty insurance, and prior to that I was drafted into the Army for a short stint in Vietnam, so that's my sole accomplishment.
Wow, that's quite a bit. Thank you. Libo, this next question is for you. I'd like to know the overall mission of SBA, and if you could tell us whether you include those small business, well, they're actually not small business owners yet. They're just thinking about it. And do you start at that level and take it all the way up to somebody who has actually been in business?
Sure. So the overall mission of SBA is to create economic growth through business ownership and entrepreneurship. And we try to create economic growth measured by the job creation and the GDP growth. The small business is the engine of the economic of the country. So, and SBA has been the primary agency helping small business growth. And we help small business in all stages of the business cycle, from startup to the decline, to business owners that are trying to sell their business. And we also have business focus on different demographics, veterans, women-owned business, and so on and so forth.
Okay, all right, okay. What is the distinction, I'm asking this question of Libo, between a resource partner and a lending partner?
Okay, so our resource partner are classified as SBA resource partner and just community resource partner in general. The SBA resource partners are SBA funded and had agreement with SBA, and SBA support those resource partner by funding, by other resources funded by SBA. Our lending partners are our lender network, And SBA as an agency, we don't provide direct lending, but we work with our lender group and we provide a loan product and we are guaranteeing the loan product.
Right. So are your lending partners, are they all banks? Are there other type of financial organizations? Are they mostly banks?
Most of our lending partners are banks and credit union, but there are community lenders and there are also micro lenders are part of the SBA network as well.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
maybe you can tell us a little bit more about that later on.
Sure.
On that end. Walt, now you are a SBA Resource Partner, and Shanton is an SBA Lending Partner. Can you guys speak a little bit more about your roles in that respect?
Well, SCORE was started 52 years ago, shortly after the SBA was created. And the idea was to provide a means by which small businesses could get free business mentoring. Most of the people that started
Did you say free?
Yeah, free.
Did say free, okay.
As in F-R-E-E.
Okay, all right.
But we are primarily one-on-one mentors to small business operations, and then we have a stable of workshops that we provide as well. So that's the primary focus of the company, of SCORE anyway, but my focus is on the outreach end of it, attending these various meetings.
And in your outreach effort, are you localized in the DMV, or are you going all over?
No, I've got enough to do here in the DMV.
So you stay pretty much in the DMV.
And all of our SCORE mentors are volunteers, so we're highly well paid with applause and other benefits. You know.
Okay, all right. Shanton.
So as the lending partner, we actually, there are two types. There are those who are considered preferred lenders, and then and what a preferred lender is basically that we're authorized on to actually approve SBA loans on behalf of SBA. And then you have other lenders who have to go and get the actual approval and go through the approval process for SBA. And so what we do is basically Lynn will send us someone that's ready to get a loan, and we basically go through that process with the client from start to finish, which basically means we start with getting all of their financial information, understanding what their business is and what it is that they're trying to do through the either approval process or the declination process.
So does that mean that SBA does an approval process first before you see?
No. So what happens is that it gets approved on the bank side first.
Oh, okay.
And a lot of people don't realize that, it needs to get approved by the bank because we still have to go through whatever their policies and procedures are of the bank. And then if we feel like that it requires credit enhancement, then, typically that's when we take a look at it on the SBA side, and the credit enhancement, of course, is the guarantee that SBA provides.
Okay.
And so as a preferred lender, we're kind of doing 2 for 1. We get to, once we approve it on the bank side, we're typically already decided to approve it on the SBA side. And it's just a matter of us inputting it into the SBA system
Okay,
and getting an approval.
so your team does nothing but pretty much work with the SBA
Absolutely.
products and services. So
Yes.
Okay, that's good.
That's where
Because I didn't know if they had you
dedicated.
1 minute you're working SBA and the next
No,
minute
we
you're working
actually are a
something else.
dedicated team
You're
for
dedicated.
specifically SBA.
Okay, very good. And then Walter, what about you? Are you pretty much the SCORE volunteers are retirees, so they're not, are they still working businesses or they're dedicated totally?
Each individual differs, and it's not necessarily retired exclusively, although when we retire we obviously have more time. But there are a number of younger people that are now volunteering for us, and they have full-time jobs and are doing subject matter expert advice for particular things, as well as in some cases mentoring on weekends rather than during the week. So everyone is a volunteer. We have 80 volunteers in the greater DC area. So we have plenty of people to meet and greet and participate in the success of the small businesses.
Right. Libo, you are an assistant director, right? Is that the right? District director.
Right.
Are you the only one, and I mean, you're with marketing, so my question is, do you have other assistant deputy directors, and if so, what areas do they work with?
So our office consists of the marketing and outreach team, which I currently supervise, and we also have a AA portfolio team. The AA team have a portfolio of our government contract specialists, and they have a portfolio of about over 1,000 AA companies. We have the largest AA portfolio of all the district office across the country, because as you know, there's a lot of government contractors in this area. And they provide hand-to-hand specific consultation to our AA firms.
Right, right. Well, you know, I know that spring is just around the corner, and a lot of people, business people, use this time to try to retool and get engaged in various events. Can you talk about some of the upcoming events that you're going to be having, say, in the next 3 or 4 months?
Sure. So our next big event is the Small Business Week in May. And it's a nationwide event. All the district offices have an event during that week. And we will be recognizing the Small Business of the Year, the Exporter of the Year, and the Government Contractor of the Year. And we also have ongoing events such as the Boost to Business. This program is to help transition personnel from military active duty status to civilian. If they're choosing business ownership as an option going forward, we provide free counseling and free classroom training for them.
And that's called Boost to
Boost to Business.
Wow, okay.
Right.
Shanton, what about you guys?
We actually don't have, events that we have. We actually attend the events that these guys
Right, so
typically
you
have.
participate.
We participate.
in
So
this
if
thing.
someone asks us to have a booth or, to sponsor an event, that's typically what we do.
Okay, so that's what keeps you busy.
Yeah, exactly.
In that way, that's good.
Exactly.
Walter, what about SCORE?
Well, in addition to the workshops that we have, which are weekly, we have a big event that will be coming up in the middle of the year. At this point, the subject and the date are not set, but we typically seek to have about 300 to 500 attendees for these particular events. Last year, we had the Home Shopping Network personnel here, and we spent 3 days working with individuals who wanted to become participate in the Home Shopping Network, and so that was our big event for last year. This year, I'm not sure, but we'll certainly get back to you as soon as we know.
Oh, please do.
I
Thank
will.
you. Well, we're going to take a short station break, and we'll return after these important messages, so don't touch that dial.
Minds can achieve anything. We make sure they get to college. Federal student aid provides more than $150 billion in grants, loans, and work-study funds to make college possible for anyone with the mind to get there. Because if given the chance, minds will do great things. Federal Student Aid, proud sponsor of the American Mind. Learn more about money for college at studentaid.gov.
Welcome back. You're watching Skills to Pay the Bills as we shine the spotlight on SBA products and services and its partners. The one thing that I wanted to talk about, and I've been holding it till after the break, and that's about the dollar signs, money. Now, Walter has said that they don't charge anything for the services that you do. Is that all the time, or do you have certain events that people may have to pay, $5 or $10 to come to?
We have, as far as the one-on-one mentoring is concerned, that's free, and it always is free, and it's not one and done. It's an ongoing process. One of my clients I worked with for 5 years before she was able to sell her business and make a very handsome profit for it. So most of our small business people, and the mentoring is free. The workshops we do charge for. A whole day or a full day workshop would be $50, and a half day would be $30 to $40, depending on the day.
What kind of workshop?
Well, we have one that's called How to Start a Small Business, and basically that's like the Cliff Notes version of getting started with legal, accounting, SBA, insurance, all the various things that are critical to a small business to get success, and it gives them an overview of exactly what they're getting into. And then we have some specific events like how to do a business plan, how to write a business plan, and which is a critical need as far as the banks are concerned, but also it's a fantastic and valuable tool for guiding the small businesses and allowing them to determine where they are and how they're doing, how they're making out.
Are these all-day classes or half
Those
day?
two were, yeah.
Oh, wow,
Those two
okay.
were. But
So-
then we have some half-day classes on media, social media, and how to utilize social media for your benefits. So that's another area that we get into. And federal contracting. There are probably about 20 different workshops that we have during the year, and or 20 different types. We have certain workshops every month, like the how to start a small business, as well as the business plan. That's given once a month, every month.
Right, and they can just go on your internet, on the internet?
Yes,
to-
go on our website,
okay.
which is washingtondc.score.org.
Okay, good. Shanton, what about you? What is the outreach efforts of the bank?
Typically, like I said, we actually go to different events when
Okay.
we're asked to, but the things that we kind of do to get involved in the community is that we are a part of different organizations. I'm on 2 different chambers. We have another group that actually is specific to geared towards commercial lenders,
Okay.
and we talk all things SBA. And so once a quarter we have a meeting and we have different topics versus to talk about SBA. I'm on that board as well. So we just try to really get into the community and go into different organizations and being a part of different associations to really talk about SBA
So you're
lending
there
as a
to
whole.
support. It
Yes.
sounds like you guys are great support
Yes.
on that end.
Yes.
Libo, I went to an SBA event, I think it was last year. And we got fed lunch. We had a 5-hour class for $15. And I thought that was like free. That was really good. So what about the fees for some of your events?
Right. So all of SBA sponsored or planned events are free. We are a government agency, and our program are taxpayer-supported program. So if you're a taxpayer, you're already paying for this program. However, we work with resource partners, community business partners on different events.
Okay.
They may charge a fee to cover the cost
Right.
of the event, and there may be a little fee to cover the cost. So, and we work with all the resource partners, not only in Northern Virginia, Fairfax, but we work with the District of Columbia and Suburban Maryland Resource Partner.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, that's very good, and I know that as a small business owner myself, that is one of my weaknesses. I have not taken advantage of what you guys offer, and this year, I'm really going to try to carve out time and do better, because every time I've ever gone to the few that I've gone to, I have learned some things, and I was able to put some different things in place in our business on that end. Earlier, we talked about the resource partners and the lending partners, and how do you go about finding a resource partner or a lending partner?
Right.
So if I'm a bank and I'm kind of new in the area and I want to
Right.
become a lending partner, what would be my first step?
So most of the banks and credit union are SBA resource partners. Some banks are more active than the other, and we have an ongoing relationship or effort trying to educate or re-educate the new lenders or the loan officers coming on board. And if a new bank wants to participate in the SBA loan guarantee program, we usually give out the email address. They can send their application profile to us, and we'll process. For the SBA Resource Partner Network, and its SBA relationship with the parent organization of the SCORE, the parent organization of SBDC and other resource partner. And we work, the district office level, we work with the the local chapter office.
Right. So you're across the nation, and I don't know, maybe even the world. I mean, I know you do some things internationally.
Right.
How many resource partners do you have, and how many lending partners do you have?
That's
Is that
that's
infinite number?
there is a number, but I don't have that number
Yeah.
readily available. But I can say that we have office in all 50 states, including Puerto Rico, Guam, U.S. Virgin Islands, and we have at least one SBA office in each state and 6 offices in Texas and California.
But do all those states report back to the district office, or are they separate entities? unto
No,
themselves?
they're all under SBA
Okay.
and umbrella. They're all working together.
Okay. I think, and you guys can correct me, in my head, I'm thinking that there are 3 major type of small business owners. You've got the ones who haven't actually started a business yet; they're just thinking about it, but they don't know where to go to make that first step, and so they're just kind of floundering around asking Uncle Joe and different people like that. Then I'm thinking you have the small business person who the uncle left them $1 million and a lot of information, and they don't really need your help at all. Then you have the others like me who just got out there and got started and said, uh-oh, I think I've missed a couple of steps. Is that a good assessment? Is that true of what you find? And how do you help? How do you help that third person?
Right, I think that's true in general. There's always people who think they know, and when they get started, they know that they don't know everything.
Yeah.
SBA has a resource and the program for all stages of business ownership. And that's why this is important to get SBA's name more out there. And our administrator says SBA is the best kept secret because we work with so many resource partners like the SCORE, like our lending partners, and that's when we rely on our local expertise to provide specific targeted assistance.
Right. Shanton, a lot of small business owners that I have talked to, they're afraid to come into the bank because they feel like they're small potatoes, and that the bank doesn't have time for them. If they're not already bringing in, $2 or $3 million, that the bank doesn't want to talk to them. And I don't think that's true. What can you say about that?
I totally agree that that's not true, especially on the community banking side. And this is why I love what I do, because community banks, we're here to service our community, and we're here to be a part of the community. And so, no, I don't think that one alone is too small to be serviced by us. We have different systems. You have that person that all they need is a $50,000 line of credit, and so we have a system that can assist them with that. And then you have some people that are buying that building and they need $2 or $3 million dollars, and we also have the capacity to assist with that, because SBA's programs, basically you go from the Express program all the way to the 7A and the 504 program. Right. So I think there's a misconception out there about SBA lending, definitely, right. And I think they just need to give the community bank or the bank as a whole an opportunity. And unfortunately, like everything else, some people do it better than others.
Right.
So.
And I'd like to say, with respect to SCORE, a year ago, Michelle and I went to a SCORE office, and I'm not going to call the person's name, but after we left that office, I was so impressed with the honesty that person talked to us about. He asked some questions, and we were writing things down. And he took one look at me and he looked at Michelle. He said, if you guys don't start handling things differently, you're going to be passing a tin cup around. And to hear that, here we think we're doing everything right, and it was something about him saying a tin cup. I just saw that in my head, and I said, what? So Walter, could you walk us through what it's like to have an appointment with a SCORE representative?
Well, it runs, again, as with Libo and with Shanton, it runs the gamut. If we have some people who come in with just an idea and no more specific information than the idea itself, then we have people who are in existing businesses such as yourself, and what we try to do is to help you clean up what has been your bad or your not such good behavior, and then also help you to move to the next level. And then we have a whole different set where there are some businesses that are actually in default on their SBA loan. And we have a team that goes to that organization in conjunction with the Eagle banks or the other community banks. And we really stress the fact that the community banks are where you're going to be listened to and where you're going to be able to get a loan if at all possible. Yes. So we work with all the various levels, and we have, because we're all, well, most of us are retired, we have a lot of real business sense and history that we can bring to bear. We made a lot of mistakes when we were in the business, and so we want to help you all avoid those mistakes.
Good, very good. Well, Libo, Shanton, and Walter, our time is up, but I want to thank you guys so much for coming to share, and you're welcome anytime. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Tia.
Thank you so much for watching Skills to Pay the Bills. In summary, we want you to know that SBA will work with you from the inception of an idea until you become all that you can be as a viable business owner. We also learned that SCORE is a dynamic resource partner who will mentor you at all levels of your business development, free of charge. And finally, you were introduced to Eagle Bank, an SBA lending partner who puts relationships first and will guide you through their banking procedures and products based upon your needs. If you have any questions about starting a new business or better managing the one you have, please consider giving our special guests a telephone call or drop them an email. Thank you again for watching Skills to Pay the Bills, and we will see you next week. In the meantime, stay focused. Your next opportunity is just around the corner. Bye-bye.